Top 7 The Story of an Hour Essay Topics. What's the role of sarcasm in the story of an hour? This paper explores sarcasm as a literary technique in the story of an hour by Kate Chopin. Analyze its instances in conversations and narration. How does sarcasm influence the general tone and meaning of the story? How does it affect the reader's understanding of characters and events? What really killed Mrs. Mallard? What literal and metaphorical factors contribute to Mrs. Mallard's demise? What emotional and societal elements may have played a role in her death? To answer these questions, you can consider the complexities of the protagonist's character and the narrative's events. Besides, you may address the symbolic layers that might offer insights into the actual cause of Mrs. Mallard's demise. Was Mrs. Mallard the good wife? In this essay, you might examine Mrs. Mallard's relationship with her spouse. Review her conduct and feelings in the context of societal anticipations for women in the 19th century. Does she conform to or challenge traditional ideas of being a good wife? Women and Freedom in the Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin. Here, we suggest discussing the theme of women's freedom as depicted in the story of an hour. How does Mrs. Mallard's character grapple with societal anticipations and her desires for autonomy? How does the narrative reflect broader problems of women's liberation? How does Chopin use Mrs. Mallard's experience to comment on the restrictions inflicted on women during that era? Literary Analysis, The Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin. What narrative structure, character development, and thematic elements are used within the story? How does the social and cultural context of the late 19th century inform the narrative? Research these questions in your paper. We recommend engaging in a thoughtful interpretation of crucial scenes and plot points. Moreover, it would be great to offer insights into Kate Chopin's intentions and the story's impact on readers. Imagery and Symbolism in the Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin. Kate Chopin uses symbolism and imagery in her short story to enhance its scene's intensity and emotional resonance. Your essay can provide specific examples of descriptive language and symbolic elements. Clarify their significance and impact on the reader's interpretation. What does marriage mean for Mrs. Mallard? This essay can investigate Mrs. Mallard's feelings and perceptions towards marriage, considering societal expectations and personal desires. How do her views on marriage evolve throughout the narrative? Highlight the implications of Mrs. Mallard's revelations on the broader themes of the story.